I realize when it comes to the NFL, you're kind of in a lull in the sense right now. End of March, beginning of April, draft still a few weeks away. 2023 season's a bit in the rearview mirror. Free agency slowed down. So you got to find things to occupy your time. I get that. But holy hell, the discourse around Caleb Williams over the past couple of weeks just blows my ever-loving fucking mind, especially with it coming from Bears fans. I could understand if Packers fans, Lions fans, Vikings fans, fans of the Commanders, other teams that might be jealous that they're not getting Caleb Williams. The teams in the NFC North, their fan base wanting to shit on the future opposing quarterback, the future face of the franchise for Chicago, and wanting to throw shade and hate. Like, that comes with the territory. I expect that. I'd almost be disappointed if it didn't happen. And frankly, I'd be worried if it didn't happen, because I would sit there and say, you know what? That's an indication that there's a problem here. If other fan bases aren't worried and they're not acting like they're worried, you maybe don't have the guy. But in recent weeks, this shit has totally jumped the fucking shark, and it's just gotten ridiculous. And now we're talking about Caleb Williams and his freaking pink nails and his pink phone case. And all I got to say is, who the fuck cares, snowflakes? Like, seriously. The same city, the same group of fans that back in the 90s loved Dennis Rodman and all of his fucking antics. The cross-dressing, the wearing of dresses, the freaking painted nails, his freaking tie-dyed hair, and every damn thing else. Now all of a sudden it's a problem with Caleb Williams? The fuck is wrong with everybody? How quickly we forget, huh? Here's the reality. I don't give a fuck what Caleb Williams does outside of the league. Especially if it's legal, it's all good. Not my business. He's a human being. He's entitled to live his life in a way that isn't problematic to others in terms of like legitimately causing material impact and harm. Not just you wanting to be a butthurt soy boy snowflake talking about, I'm not comfortable with that. Grow the fuck up. Seriously, what the fuck's wrong with you? Oh my God, he paints his nails. Oh my God, he has a pink phone. This is where we're at now? I don't give a fuck if he sits there and snorts coke off a girl's titty cracks. I don't give a shit if he's sitting there going down on trannies. I don't care. I don't give a flying bit of fucks if he's sitting there and pounding Stefan in the ass 7 times a week. The only thing that matters when it comes to Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears is what he ultimately does on the football field. And as long as he produces there, and as long as he performs there, who gives a fuck about anything else? Shit, if he's the guy to finally be the face of the franchise, to make the Bears a consistent threat, a consistent contender, wins a championship or two, a lot of you are going to bedazzle your ball sacks with freaking pink Caleb Williams beads. So every time you go to sit there and stroke the shaft and spurt out the gravy, you can look at your hero, your quarterback god, and say, thank you, Caleb, may I have another? You're going to be wearing pink number 13 or whatever the fuck number he's wearing in Chicago, Caleb Williams jerseys. You're going to be much more focused on his play at some point because that's all that fucking matters. Do I look at some of that shit sometimes it's kind of cringe and go like, sure. Do I think the younger generation lacks in taste and lacks in a lot of things? Yes. Just like my parents' generation thought about my generation. Just like their parents' generation thought about my parents' generation. There's some truth to that and there's some bullshit to that, right? Not my bag. I don't give a fuck. Only thing I give a fuck about in my 40s now is seeing the Bears win Super Bowls. I don't give a fuck if you've got 53 Soldier Field fairies going around. What they do in their own bedroom in their own time, if it doesn't impact the play on the field, doesn't fucking matter two hella beans. And anybody that's got a problem with that can kiss my fucking ass. Oh, I want a man playing quarterback. Oh, all the guys that sat there and didn't paint their nails that played Bears football. They got the job done, didn't they? Fuck off. I want Caleb Williams to come right out and say, I'm going to fuck the Packers in the ass like their name was Alexander. Yes! Talk that shit, man. I don't give a fuck. Make everybody fucking uncomfortable. Be like the Sacha Baron Cohen character from Talladega Nights. This is my husband, Gregory. Fuck yes. Who gives a shit? And if he's a bust, it's not because he's banging vajayjay or busting up in booty holes or getting his cheeks fucking blown out. It ain't going to be about any shit like that at all. He's going to bust if he's not focused on the game. He's going to bust if he doesn't learn how to play better in structure. That's not me saying he is, but I'm saying if he's going to bust, it'll be for reasons like that, or he gets injured or whatever the fuck the case might be. And I don't know where this is coming from, just this fear of, well, somebody does something different from me and it makes me uncomfortable, so I'm going to act like a whiny snowflake bitch. How ironic how often it is the fucking conservatives that sit there and call people woke and snowflakes are the biggest fucking bunch of pussies and snowflakes imaginable. Literally everything they're going to fucking whine and cry about. A guy painting his fucking nails? Who gives a shit? How many rockers over the years painted their fucking nails and wore guy liner? One of my favorite wrestlers ever was The Undertaker. He wore guy liner for 30 fucking years. Who gives a shit? Every time you watch TV, all of these goddamn TV hosts, female and especially male, what do they have on? They got fucking makeup. Yeah, so miss me with all that bullshit. It is 2024. If that type of shit still bothers you, they're not the problem. The problem is you. If you don't want Caleb Williams to be the Bears quarterback because you feel uncomfortable with who he might be off the field, even though that absolutely might not be who he is off the field, you belong in the trash heap of Bears football and deserve to rot. You're probably the type of fucking idiot that sat there for the past year and tried to force everybody to believe, because you were a dumb fuck that wasn't connected with reality, that the Bears are going to sit there and build around Justin Fields and keep him. And now all of a sudden that Ryan Poles win against you, you don't know how to fucking react. You're like, oh, but he's King Poles, but he got rid of my hero Justin Fields. What the fuck do I do? How about go the fuck away? Like, is this how it's going to be once Caleb comes to Chicago? We're going to be talking about, oh my God, he wore a dress. I don't give a fuck if he wears a kilt every goddamn game. Who gives a shit? Like, sometimes you look at it and be like, oh, that's cringe, that's stupid. I get that, right? But fundamentally, at the end of the day, who cares? Who the hell cares? I don't care if he puts butt fuck on his nails. If he goes out there and goes 24 for 30 for 320 yards and 3 touchdowns and beats the Packers, beats the Vikings, beats the Lions, I say all of us should paint her nails and say butt fuck at that point. It's so stupid, man. If I end up not liking Caleb Williams, it's going to solely be because of his play on the field. Does he produce at the end of the day? Not going to be because he frickin' paints his damn nails or gets manicures or pedicures or does all of this and all of that. Who gives a shit? And if there are any Bears fans at this point that don't want him to be in Chicago because of that, he's not the problem. The problem is you. Get the fuck over it. After so many decades of watching meaningless, pathetic Bears football, aren't you ready to hope that this guy can be the fucking guy so this organization can be taken seriously for a goddamn change and actually be a championship contender? Oh my god, he's got a pink phone case. That means he's gay, and that makes somebody homophobic uncomfortable. I almost hope Caleb comes out and fucking says he's non-binary. So that way when he sits there, my pronouns are they, them. And then everybody's saying, there's Caleb Williams. They are great. And everybody's going to say, who the fuck are you talking about? Oh yeah, now we get into the confusing shit of the fucking pronouns, right? He should come out and say, my pronouns aren't requested. They are mandatory. Fuck off. I hope he makes everybody fucking uncomfortable in Chicago. And not in the Deshaun Watson, Ben Roethlisberger in a hotel room kind of way. All I give a fuck is about if he's going to be the guy in Chicago, ball the fuck out. All the other shit doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And if it bothers you so much, get the fuck over yourself.